Senate had the National Assembly on the grounds for the proposed removal from office by impeachment of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, EGH, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, and further whereas pursuant to Article 145, as read with Article 151B and 2 of the Constitution and the Standing Order 78 and 79 of the Senate Standing Orders, the Senate also had His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, EGH, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, on the grounds of his proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Now, therefore, pursuant to Article 145, as read with Article 151B and 2 of the Constitution and the Standing Order 78 and 79 of the Senate Standing Orders, the Senate resolves to remove from office by impeachment His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, EGH, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, on the following grounds.
Mr. Speaker, the process largely has gone on well until the adherence of Article 50, Mr. Speaker, where we have not succeeded in giving fair hearing to the to Deputy President, Mr. Speaker. The reading of Article 145, and I want to bring to the attention, 4, does not specify the timeline on which the Deputy President removal can be listened. It is only by the special committee that it provides for 10 days. So, Mr. Speaker, that was very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, in the principle that justice should not only be done, but to be seen to be done, Mr. Speaker. Many Kenyans are asking questions, Mr. Speaker, what really happened? Number 3, Mr. Speaker, in observation, we didn't even allow state officers, a full-time governor, Mr. Speaker, to participate. This matter was decided in Constitutional Petition 204 of 2019, where state officers were barred by Justice Eric Ogola, Mr. Speaker. When you look at the issues, Mr. Speaker, because of limitation of time, on various grounds, like for example, on the grounds for renovation of the office of the Deputy President, the funds were appropriated by the National Assembly. Yet the same National Assembly is accusing the Deputy President, who is not even an accountant. The accountant is different person, Mr. Speaker. Or even on the KEMSA issue on the bully, in the grounds that they have been set, Mr. Speaker, they are saying that the Deputy President bullied KEMSA, Mr. Speaker, but there is no proof that that tender was awarded to the specified companies that were provided, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker, looking at the evidence that the Honorable Mwengi Mutuse put in his motion and the cross-examination that was here, the evidence that he brought to the House, he had 22 companies that he had listed. And when questions were running to him, what problem do you have with the company number 1? I don't have a problem with it. Maybe you will have a problem in future. But the Deputy President must be removed from office. What do you have what problem do you have with company number 2? I don't have a problem with it, but it might have a problem in future, and the Deputy President must be removed from office. And he kept telling us, I don't have a problem with the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one, but the Deputy President has to be removed from office. Honorable Speaker, I posed a question to the Honorable Mwengi Mutuse. He alleged that the Deputy President has a dairy farm in Nyandarua County. The fairest thing, or the least that anybody would do to such an accusation, you need to tell us where in Nyandarua is this land, at least remotely tell us what is the title number, so that even if, as the area senator, if I want to verify that indeed the Deputy President has a dairy farm in Nyandarua, there is something that I can look at.
It is not a simple matter of numbers in the National Assembly and in the Senate. An impeachment is not a vote of no confidence. We must distinguish that. A vote of no confidence is a simple matter with no standards. It's just a political thing that you make, and somebody resigns from office, but he can come back and get to office again. This is an impeachment. So, Article 150, Clause 2, provides that to remove the Deputy President, the provisions of Article 144 and 145 relating to the removal of the President, the Deputy President, of the President shall apply with the necessary modifications to the removal of the Deputy President.
And Mr. Speaker, I am going to leave this by saying I'm going to vote on all 11 counts. No, 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 no. I'm going to vote no. And I'm going to leave you with one quote I've read from a member of parliament from Gatondo North, who has said, Mr. Speaker, and I read, "The dog is not sick It's just afraid facing its last 2 hours of power forever, Mr. Speaker. Those are the MPs who kicked out the deputy president. They are now calling him a dog. Maybe even this motion, Mr. Speaker, was brought by some people who are suffering from mental issues, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to say that because how do you call a deputy president is a dog and he's not sick and he's only waiting to get out of power for 2 hours? I ask you, brothers, please do not play along the galleries. Respect the deputy president, respect the people of Murima, and I leave you with Exodus 19, verse 12, Mr. Speaker. We were told if you touch a widow, you die. It says if you touch the mountain, you die. I vote no.
My position on some of the utterances that have come from him, that in fact I strongly objected to those pronouncements. His legal team sought to hide behind these coalition agreements. I have agonized over what to do with an agreement, Honorable Speaker, that ousts the mandate of constitutional bodies. For instance, Honorable Speaker, you are told that in the agreement, positions that essentially are supposed to be available to all Kenyans through advertisement by the Public Service Commission, like permanent secretaries, have already been dished out. So what am I supposed to do with a contract that ousts the mandate of the PSC, a constitutional body? What am I supposed to do with a contract that ousts the mandate of this House, Honorable Speaker? For instance, to vote for the person who sits in the chair that you sit in. And if memory serves me right, Honorable Speaker, members who are not signatories to the coalition agreement of Kenya Kwanza, in fact, participated in voting for you to become the Speaker. And many of them were members of my political party, ODM, although, of course, I was not one of them. Honorable Speaker, there is a position in law about what to do with illegal and unconscionable contracts. I feel that the Deputy President wasted an opportunity to give clarification on his pronouncements that, Honorable Speaker, he chooses to hide behind a contract that I consider unconstitutional is something that I have agonized over.
Mr. Speaker, an impeachment process is a vital process of holding public officers, state officers, accountable. Mr. Speaker, I've heard on various occasions from my colleagues, those who oppose this motion, that we are targeting the mountain. I beg to differ, and I do so with the following findings.
There is a lot of movement in the chamber,
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, and Senator
my time.
Lekina's. Let's take our seat, please. And let us hear the Honorable Senator in silence.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me begin again by saying I want to disabuse this notion that an impeachment process is an attack of a region. It is not. It is a constitutional process that this House has been given the task to be able to hold public officers accountable. Today, we are discussing the impeachment of a deputy president. Tomorrow, we might be discussing the impeachment of a president. We have constantly debated impeachment of governors here. I've never had, at one given time, when people come up and say we are targeting a particular community. We are not, Mr. Speaker.
I have been born and grown up in Nairobi County, in Eastlands particularly. And where I come from, when we grow up, we are not even aware of each other's tribe. Our neighbor could be from any other tribe. And so when I hear the Deputy President talking and allocating shares to citizens, I am aware that he's excluding more than half the population of Nairobians from service delivery, the same people that me and Sifuna are always here fighting for, every day, for allocations and for services, Mr. Speaker. And as if that was not enough, he was in the CBD the other day, addressing Nairobians in the Kikuyu language, assuming that all Marikiti traders are Kikuyus, Mr. Speaker. Nothing can be further from the truth.
Tonight, because the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya is just like the law of Moses. It says if you are found guilty of political adultery, you should be stoned to political death. It is called impeachment. You are sent into political purgatory for 10 years. You cannot run for office. Mr. Speaker, we must deal with the law as is. The law as is requires us that the woman or the man accused of adultery must be stoned to death in this chamber. That is the law as it is. But, Mr. Speaker, we must make sure that we bring those other men and women who commit and who encourage people to go into adultery so that they also face the same sentence and they also face the same judgment.
Mr. Speaker, if really we must talk about faith, may I remind the Deputy President of a man of faith, a man of letters called Bill Paul. Bill Paul said, man of faith, that integrity is like virginity. You lose it only once. And when you lose it, you can never get it back. The Deputy President has lost that virginity of leadership.
To the best of my knowledge, Mr. Speaker, I think as a House, we did the best that was within our means. We granted the opportunity, was given sufficient notice, Mr. Speaker. It is only in the unfortunate circumstance of this afternoon where he was taken ill, Mr. Speaker, and I'd wish to take this time to extend my message of goodwill to him and wish that he can quickly recover and get on with his other duties, Mr. Speaker, both as a human being and should, whichever way this vote goes, Mr. Speaker, because it's not in my hands, but in the hands of the 67 jury that are here, Mr. Speaker, that he shall continue to thrive. I wish him well, Mr. Speaker. Like I observed earlier, this is a friend, and friends wish each other well under all circumstances.
Now, honorable senators, the result of the division indicate that the Senate has upheld the following impeachment grounds. 1, gross violation of Articles 10(2)(a), B, and C, 27(4), 73(1)(a), and 2B, 75(1)(c), and 129(2) of the Constitution, and Article 147(1) as read together with Article 131(2)(c) and D of the Constitution. 4, gross violation, ground number 4, gross violation of Article 161 of the Constitution on the institutional and decisional independence of judges. Ground number 5, gross violation of Articles 3(1) and 148(5)(a) of the Constitution and the fidelity to the oath of office and allegiance. Ground number 6, serious reasons to believe that His Excellency the Deputy President has committed crimes under Sections 13(1)(a) and 62 of the National Cohesion and Integration Act. Ground number 9, gross misconduct that is incompatible with the high calling and dignified status of the office of the Deputy President and a member of the Cabinet and the National Security Council. His Excellency the Deputy President has publicly attacked and undermined work of the National Security Intelligence Service and its officers. Now, honorable senators, pursuant to Article 145(7) and 151(b) and 2 of the Constitution, and Standing Order 78(8) of the Senate has resolved to remove from office by impeachment His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, AGH, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Accordingly, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, AGH, ceases to hold office. I thank you.